I'm just gonna spoil Digital Circus and Deltarune in this video if you haven't played. If you haven't watched and played each one of them, then don't watch this, I guess. But I've been seeing like people use this like all your theories are wrong meme, or just that general attitude towards like the story. Specifically like the Chris Knight and Abel red herrings about like the recent like release of chapter 3 and 4 and the recent episode of Digital Circus with episode 7, and how those two releases kind of debunked like a lot of fan theories and stuff, you know? It kind of feels like people are looking at those and basically like trimming down like the twists to just that. It kind of, I don't know, I feel like it kind of undermines what the stories are doing, you know? Like it's the only reason it's good is because it's debunking all the deep lore theories that we came up with. It's shocking and we didn't expect it. I've grown out of FNAF, but this seems to be like an uproar against like deep lore and how some people are looking into these stories. And I feel like people might just take this in the extreme opposite direction as time goes on, maybe. You know, it's like, it's the same shit with how bad plot twists come into being, you know? People, a bad writer sees a good plot twist and they're like, whoa, that was so surprising, you know? They don't look at like the foreshadowing and setup, they only see like they only see the emotional reaction, and then that's the only thing they try to like replicate. So I don't want people to get this same wrong impression here with like red herrings or stuff, anything like that. Because, you know, there is substance here, you know? It's weird. It's weird how people, like, make fun of FNAF. Like, oh, it's the Deep Lore franchise, and the writer keeps changing everything. But, like, the meme, the your theory is a wrong meme. It originally had Scott Cotton on it. It's dumb. Deltarune fans don't really like it when you treat the game like it's FNAF, or you make comparisons between Toby and Scott, so this is kind of weird. I don't know, I've seen people like compare Toby Fox to Scott Cotton sometimes, like in a negative light. So that, I don't know, that is a little bit funny. Not that I really agree. I don't think the twist in Digital Circus doesn't feel like it was made just to annoy people who like try to theorize about this character-driven show. Deltarune, though, it kind of feels like it, but there is at least substance there, at least compared to like FNAF, you know? You have this chapter formula that you're setting up. It's very standard, you know? You have Dark World, and then you explore the Light World afterwards. You have like a secret boss that have all of these different patterns and ideas that you're exploring. It's a fun adventure, and chapter 3 is like all of this like being exaggerated to an extreme, you know? It's very overwhelming. It's all fun and games. At the end of chapter 3, Tenna just gets killed unexpectedly, and then we have this tonal shift with the knight showing up. And with chapter 4, it goes away from this typical chapter formula and such. You know, it's a story about like this prophecy that is set in stone and it can't be changed and such, which kind of falls in line with this typical chapter formula. And this chapter formula, you know, it kind of makes you feel safe with what the game is, and then it changes completely. In chapter 4, it's less fun and games and adventures, and it's more serious with the tonal shift. The Chris Knight red herring is working parallel to all of that, basically, to basically make you feel like you know where the story is going. And even with all that, Chris is working with the knight in the end, so it's not like the setup went nowhere. So that theory wasn't even like 100% gazillion terrible debunked. You know, it is important to what the game is saying. With Digital Circus, though, it was like a show I didn't really click with. I just thought it was okay. It had like good art direction and great animation. But these last 2 episodes have been like really good for no fucking reason. It's like, hey, now we're actually moving the plot a bit forward, you know? It's not just gonna be the character messing around and doing stuff, you know, and exploring those characters. They're gonna be able to escape the circus. It builds up hope, and you have this weird lore, I guess. When I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is just happening now, because I didn't want this Abel stuff. I didn't want Abel's stuff. I thought it was dumb from those theories I saw, but that's not really important. But it did but yeah, whatever. But, you know, this mannequin character has been set up, you know. We see him at the end of episode 5. We also saw him like in the background of earlier episodes. So it's like you're building up this mysterious character, and by the end of episode 7, you just kill them off, which is such an interesting move. It's so risky just to like get rid of all this build up. This would have been bad in anything else, but like the idea here is you're taking away this hope, this build up that these characters have been kind of waiting for, and you kind of end up in a similar spot to them, like with how you're feeling. Because I don't know, where is this show gonna go from here? Like, I don't know, what are the characters, how are the characters gonna react? Like, after that twist, like, it kind of makes it clear that it's not gonna have this deep, heavy plot, you know. It centers it down to it puts all the center on the character's reaction to this. It made it, this kind of made it clear that, oh yeah, this is just entirely a character-driven show, even though I've heard that said before, you know? I watched it with that knowledge. This is kind of the moment where it made it clear exactly what it was. And from this point, you know, with this episode, I'm really excited to see what comes next, because like, I don't know what's gonna happen. How are these characters gonna react? How the fuck are they gonna go back to what they were normally doing after this shit? What are they gonna do, you know? From so far, I kind of felt like the premise was the weakest thing about the show. Like, they're stuck there, you know. The NPCs don't matter, the adventures don't matter, you know. I kind of felt like it just loses the emotional connection you can get from this stuff. But I feel like this has kind of convinced me that the concept can be used well. It pulls this twist to kind of put you in a similar state to these characters. It's not written just to be like subversive for no fucking reason and just debunking gazillion theories, you know? This is literally the show based around fake adventures, so this is pretty in line with what's it's already done. It isn't out of nowhere. I just want to talk about this just so it's clear to like other people, just so they don't make stupid shit like that. Night theories are even shittier than before, like Rudy Night and Astral Night, just because of it. Just based on the basis of, oh, that setup might actually just be lies. Just because of how it withholds information. Like, I don't know. You know, it's just want to make that clear. No, Deltarune is definitely a bit more plot heavy. There's a lot more moving pieces there. So in that case, it's definitely trying to be a lot more shocking and surprise you with its subversion. While here with Digital Circus, I feel like it was focusing more on like the characters. Not that there's anything wrong with one or the other, but I kind of prefer what happens in Digital Circus more, because it's more of an interesting situation and setting for that twist. And it's a lot more straightforward, because, you know, there are a lot of moving pieces in Deltarune. There's a lot of moving pieces, and if one of them is just missing, then the whole thing kind of falls apart. With Digital Circus, it's a lot more straightforward. But yeah, I hope it's understandable. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. This is just an unscripted rambling. Anyways, if you want to subscribe for more unscripted rambling, sure. I also have content on my main account, like music and other stuff. I also talk about Deltarune there. You know, other art by me. It's cool. Anyways, bye-bye. I'm right behind you, aren't I? Or whatever he says. I don't remember.